4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
Damn!
Welcome to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for, with your hosts, Chris, Leaf, and Shadwick.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast that no one asked for. Today, we're going to be talking about the epic movie from the 90s, Friday, starring
Legendary.
Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. What a fucking gem of a movie, man.
And don't be confused like Leaf. We're recording this on a Tuesday, but it's Friday.
But the movie is Friday. Leaf had
Friday
actually
on
gone,
a Tuesday.
Leaf had gone a little heavy on booze of the week that week, okay? You know, it's a little confusing, you know.
Listen, we all drink. I drink.
I drink.
You know?
Like,
I even have a
what do you
shirt that
want?
says, I drink.
Yeah, I mean, what an awesome band that was. So, some more episodes to do. Leaf is about to head out to Street Fighter style in just a few weeks or a couple weeks, right?
Man, exactly 2 weeks from yesterday, dude. I'll be
Damn.
in the air
So
14 hours.
tell me again, would they not ship her here? You had to go pick her up?
I'm going to go visit my friend from college. No. No. She actually
wait.
she's coming back to the United States. We're going to go have like one throwdown in Japan. We're also going to Korea,
Your gum tasted like shit.
by the way. So South Korea.
Same, but different. But still same.
Okay.
You,
all right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Before everyone's in the comments like, oh, you can't go to North Korea. Yes, I can. I can do what I want.
It's election season, you know, man. People got to ask those questions. So
They do. It's true. It's true
And I'm actually going with our frequent guest Gibbs. We're going to March Madness tomorrow in Charlotte.
Yes.
I actually have my wife making me 3 different shirts for 3 different teams. So I'm going to be just layered. And when one game ends, I'm just going to take the shirt off and have another underdog shirt. And hopefully I'll get on TV, guys. So
dude. I hope
like
so, too.
old wrestling tournaments.
it is, man. I'm just be like, yep, let's go. So
And one of your shirts is like an LWO shirt on actually just hammered on TV.
I actually
Like an
have
LWO.
I have an LWO shirt. That's not
Well,
a bad idea.
that actually kind of leads us into our topic today of NWA.
Oh, that's very true. Which will get us through to that's right. Get
I
out
never
of the
actually knew what NWA stood for. What did that stand for?
All right, so this week I'm drinking Gentleman Jack.
It stands for Gentlemen with Attitudes.
Yes, good sir. So
Sir.
it actually stands for the National Wrestling Alliance. Glavin. That was my first NWA. I'm drinking the Gentleman Jack. Thank you, Mr. Jack Daniels. Actually a good friend of the show. Ryan got it for me as a birthday present. I'm just going through my stash, guys. So
Shout out, Ryan. Shout out.
yeah. What do you got there, Shaddy?
I think I may actually finish off that Knob Creek smoked maple tonight.
Nice. That
working-
stuff mixed
I'm working from home this week. As I tend to do, I was watching Mad Men, or I had it playing in the background while I was working. And
As is your want.
Yep.
so as the day went, I was like, I mean, they started like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, if you're going by their time, Chadwick's
Yeah.
like, Don Draper, no.
I'm way behind.
Leaf man, what do you got down there?
Dude, in honor of our movie for today, I'm drinking a little. I can't
Schlitz?
afford Corona. No Schlitz. Nice try. I should have got some Schlitz actually. We can't afford a Corona in this house. We're drinking some ghetto Corona with the Land Shark,
Wow,
baby.
Land Shark, baby. Yeah.
Land Shark, dude.
Is that
I'm
Hector's
not gonna
preferred
lie.
beer?
Let me just speak for everyone when I say, ugh.
It's not that bad. Like I said, if you want to save a couple of bucks on Corona,
Would that be Hector's preferred beer?
That's why I've been like, fuck Hector.
That's it. Why you like Hector? Why you don't like
What do
Hector?
you like Hector, man? That's why I'd be like, fuck Hector. So,
Fuck Hector.
all right, man. Let's move over then to our topic of the day.
Damn!
Friday. This movie was an absolute gem. I guess we should start off like we usually do, guys. Where I know I for sure wasn't a movie theater one on this one. I was definitely at this time. What year did this one come out? 1995.
1995.
So this was in my peak white suburban kid enjoying gangster rap. So I was all into that.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and admit that I didn't know who Ice Cube was until this movie.
I knew by this point I knew that his Jimmy ran deep, so deep it would put a girl's butt to sleep.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
See,
as well.
I didn't learn that until later.
Yeah. Which
As did many. Of
Which,
our listeners.
after talking to Shadwick about all the surgeries, there was possibly some nerve damage in there. If you're putting someone's butt to sleep, I'm just saying, like, a lot of
That's not-
questions to that line that I need to talk to Mr. Cube about in person one day.
And one day we will. We'll have him on the podcast to
Well-
explain. Exactly.
Maybe it was because he used no Vaseline.
Well, I mean, look, all these questions need to be answered, and also I want to be like, hey, you remember when you stole that song from the Isley Brothers?
As you learn,
Shut up, punk.
He's
As
gonna be
you go on-
like, you know what? I am a black man, and sometimes I get angry. So suck a dick.
As you go on, you find out a lot of songs were sampled. Like a lot of people
that's
don't
been
realize.
throughout freaking music. I did notice too, like this soundtrack was a banger. So anyway,
Yes.
I think the first I
God-
saw this was
Thank God Vanilla Ice never did that.
the first I saw of this one was Blockbuster Rental, man. It was due to the gangster rap influence, and I was all into rap music, and I was like, somebody at school was like, dude, you gotta check this movie out. Went out and rented it. One of the few I actually didn't watch with you, Leaf. I just think I was maybe our good friend Wahid, maybe me and him went and got it, and dude, what a fucking laugh my ass off through this entire thing, dude.
Dude, it was an
Chadwick,
absolute.
what about you?
I think I actually did see this in theaters. I had a friend when I was growing up. He was, I joke about me being, half German, half Jew. He was full-fledged German. He's about 6'5". His family, like his grandmother, had come here from Germany. I don't know
The old country.
I don't know why I'm going into that so much, except for it was just always ironic to me that he was like very much into like hip hop and rap and like he knew all this, like
All
he
the
knew
rap
Ice
music
Cube.
shit, yeah.
So like he wanted to go see it. I didn't know anything of it before we went in, and I laughed my ass off. And I've been an Ice Cube fan ever since.
Yeah, same here. Like just immediately hooked. And like we'll kind of get into a little backstory, but this was like his second acting that he had ever done. I think he did what was it? Maybe Don't Be a Menace before this. Movies that he had a part in, and then he was just like, he got the script and basically was like, fuck it, I can do this. Like that's literally like what happened. Like that's insane that dude has that much talent that he was just like, fuck it.
Well,
We'll write a comedy.
NWA, were they breaking up?
They had already disbanded at that time. It was like in the 90s.
And they were all like kind of having issues with each other too. So
I think Cube and Dre were fine. I think that they just broke off and did solo. Eazy-E was, I don't want to get into a whole Tommy Morrison thing again, but Eazy-E just they were not fans of Eazy-E, and they had some, I think this may have been where the diss track started. Like they were firing shots at each other on their albums and shit, because it was
who was it that killed Tommy Morrison in the ring? Also, was that?
I don't know, but I'll put that.
Was that Mercer?
Yes, it was Mercer, and we'll put that clip in right now because
Goes down for the first time in his career, and that is it.
That's it.
It is
fight
it.
is over.
Ray Mercer has won it. He successfully defended his WBO.
that's
so
disgusting.
Yeah, Tommy Morrison actually died twice.
Yeah, that one is disgusting. So anyway, Ice Cube just did. If you can find out what movie that was, just so I don't sound like an idiot and I can clip it incorrectly. But
Or if anybody wants to stand up and put it in the comments.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you.
And like and subscribe. Leaf, where do you remember first seeing this?
Dude, it was a video rental, 110%. Like, I feel like a lot of people missed this one if you weren't the correct ethnic persuasion.
Yeah,
You know, this is just one that just slipped by you, probably, unless, you were into a lot of these types of movies. Menace to Society,
Yeah.
The Boys in the Hood, et cetera, et
It may have
cetera.
been Boys in
right?
the Hood that he was in. I
It's probably,
forgot.
he was in Boys in the Hood, yeah. And
Okay.
before that, he was, Ice Cube was in a lot of other, like, documentaries. Also slipped
So-
over my head. I was not into as much gangster rap as Chris was, although we did enjoy a few videos here and there.
So, Chris, are you saying to you all those movies look the same?
I think I was just trying to encompass them all with the parody. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. That way I hit them all. Like,
just get the whole pantheon of
just
that.
get that out there. So be like, I hit him. I hit part of the name in there somewhere. So
Yes,
which is
much
also
like
a fantastic movie.
excellent movie, excellent, and much like you guys, I also except for Shadwick, who saw in the theater, probably like a lot of people, it was a video rental. Like, I had heard a lot of references to the movie in high school, which I'll reference probably later on.
Yeah.
And but again, it was something that just sort of slipped over my head. Everyone would say, "Oh man, this movie's so amazing. It's so funny. You got to watch it." But then, it's one of those things, I never did see it like before video rental. So, and when I did, of course, it was an instant classic. Like
for
Chris
sure,
said,
man.
you just laugh the whole entire way through. It's insanely good.
And it's got like some good lessons and shit in there too. Like, I mean, good story. Like, simple story, but good story.
It's very simple, but yeah, there's some good moments in there. Definitely, one or two serious moments that kind of hit. It really poignant moments. But I feel like the standout part of this movie was just the characters. It has some legendary actors. Talking about John Witherspoon, Bernie Mac, is in it. Like, there's just so many insanely
and like
good
when Ice Cube was
performances.
writing this, he was because the director is it Gary Gray? Is that who the director was? I
Gary
believe?
Gray, yes.
Yeah, so Gary Gray directed a bunch of music videos. And so Ice Cube, when he got his first movie script, when he did that part, he was like, man, I can do this. Like, he was like, we have all these serious, sad in the hood movies. Like, what if we kind of brought some comedy to it?
It's kind of a mix of like observational humor and kind of stereotypical, but then also just some really good writing too.
Well, and what he did, he said he based all these characters off people in like neighborhoods that he grew up in or his friends grew up in. So the dude that plays Red is the co-writer. Is it DJ Pooh?
DJ Pooh is his
And so
name,
he
yes.
actually originally was supposed to be Smokey, but no, like, so I guess it took Ice Cube years to write this, because what he would do is he would write a scene, he would send it to Gary Gray, and then Gary Gray would kind of help him format it or whatever. Then he'd write it again, write another scene when he got time. Like, they were touring overseas. He would just write these up and send it over, and then it just, after Gary Gray just finally compiled it, probably structured it, made it make sense, and then they started trying to shop it, because Ice Cube's like, I want to star in it, you know?
Right.
Do you think, like, if the three of us wrote something, do you think that any of us would be cool with just having like kind of a bit part, like Red?
I
don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know,
If it
you-
was for the greater good, and like, because also on the back end, you got a writing credit, so you're getting money on the back end of this. Like, so
Right.
Well,
Right.
I'm going to tell you, if we write one and we get Salma Hayek,
Quick, Artemis Cloudfrog, we've got to save Salma Hayek. If we save her, I'm going to take off her pants and play slip and slide.
yeah, yeah, I'm writing her in as my love interest, or my lust interest.
yeah,
Right.
You know, whichever one, it's fine.
I bet that tastes good.
So anyway, Leaf, you want to do a little synopsis of this?
Absolutely. The quick synopsis of Friday before we go for our usual scene for scene is, of course, Friday. It's a 1995 American buddy comedy directed, as Chris mentioned, by F. Gary Gray, written by Ice Cube and DJ Pooh, a.k.a.
Gotta
Red.
be fuck.
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Who's that?
the author.
Well, why are you saying fuck him?
What?
Got it.
Why'd you
Stars.
say? What did he do to you?
It stars, among others, Ice
I heard
Cube
that too.
and a young Chris Tucker, and follows their characters Craig and Smokey, who face troubles when they become indebted to a local drug dealer while also contending with the neighborhood bully. And
Was this Chris Tucker's first role also?
I believe so.
Did he do stand up?
He was doing stand up, yeah. And so they wanted somebody else other than DJ Pooh, because I guess they just didn't want. Ice Cube had very little acting experience, and that's kind of weird because I don't think Chris Tucker had any acting experience. But I guess after they said he did 2 auditions. The first one was and then the second one he went back and just fucking did Chris Tucker, and then they were like, oh Jesus Christ, like. And if you watch this movie, that's who jumps off the screen, because Ice Cube very much just plays the straight guy. There's not a lot of ranges of emotion.
Ice Cube actually plays Ice Cube.
Yes.
In this movie, for all intents and purposes.
Well, if y'all want to jump into the opening scene, obviously a Friday morning.
It's in the ghetto. Correct.
So it's got kind of like, it's panning through the house, showing like everybody kind of waking up or whatever, and there's just like a bang on the door, and you can tell it's got one of those like mesh metal like screen doors or whatever. You can hear it like clanking, and he gets up out of bed, and he walks.
What's
here it is.
Good morning. Are you prepared for Jehovah's return? Because if you're not, I have a pamphlet. Well, fuck you.
Dead ass.
Dead motherfucker. Come on.
And that just sets the tone, man. As soon as, like, she got me with the fuck you, but then with the half dead motherfucker
in her fucking church clothes and everything. That's great.
Yeah.
We also had a similar joke. This one was first, but we had a similar joke like that. And if anyone, we'll go over it eventually. A movie called Orgasmo, Trey Parker and Matt Stone did.
Yes.
And it's an old lady.
Well, you two boys can just fuck right off.
Ma'am?
You heard me. Take that Book of Mormon and shove it so far up your righteous asses that you choke. You soul-soliciting pig fuckers.
I don't think I want to do hamster style anymore.
That's nice. that old lady, by the way, is LaWanda Page, R.I.P. Just a legend in comedy acting, but in multiple movies, of course. And of course, a lot of people will recognize her from Sanford and Son, and she of course plays the ugly old lady.
Yep, there you go.
That just bounces off Fred Sanford left and right, and their chemistry is so good.
She must have had all of her lines written for her, because as Leaf has pointed out before, women can't write comedy.
I never said that. I never said that.
Roll the tape.
Yeah.
We'll find it.
It's just like 10 minutes of Chadwick saying that.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to point out something I saw in the opening credit I never really noticed before. Craig's dad's room, like when he's going by it, there's like some boxing pictures. Which kind of tie into the end when he's talking about using his hands and how they used to handle business back in the day, which we'll get to that part later on. But I thought that was a cool little tie-in nod in the beginning that he used to be a boxer and all that shit. So
he's sitting there. Yeah, he's sitting there dreaming. What is it? He's dreaming about ordering at a drive-through place or something. Give me all the extra fries you can.
Yeah.
As Chadwick said, we do roll the opening credits, and we are clearly in the ghetto. Also, you'll notice in the opening scenes, Deebo, a.k.a. Tiny Zeus Lister Jr., sleeping on a couch in the open garage. He plays like a big role. We learn that there's a crackhead, of course, running down the street. I think. Ezel. Yeah, with 2 home stereos circa 1990s, which he clearly stole, as police sirens bling in the background.
And Ice Cube's sister, she's trying not mess up her weave. Yeah, her weave.
She's trying to. Funny. I forgot how funny that was. Like where she slept like that the entire night. Is the impression you get.
100% black girl hair problems, because I didn't understand that scene probably the first 5 times I watched it.
Yeah,
I didn't get it. Like she's sleeping like this, and her head starts to slip. like down and
She's
she
like,
catches
"Ugh."
herself,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the hell is she doing? Like I had no idea like what was
God.
going on there. But yeah, trying to maintain her hair.
You're honky as hell.
Dude,
half honky.
I'm bald. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know nothing about no hair, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone's and Craig's family is waking up, and it is bright and early there at 12:30 on
that
a
what the clock
Friday
says?
afternoon. No, that is what he tells his sister, which I assume is true. It's probably a lot earlier than that.
Yeah, but that's funny.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, it is because his dad gets up and gets ready to go to work.
Yeah, he's a dog catcher or whatever.
Yeah.
Mom's getting going to work. And this is one of the scenes that me and Leaf laughed at over and freaking over again when Ice Cube's in the kitchen. He
Yes,
opens
dude.
and he sees the Captain Crunch and he goes,
Yeah.
yeah. every single time. It's still funny, man.
Because I'm 10 years old.
I relate to that emotion right there. You open it and there's your favorite cereal. Like, yeah.
And
It's
can you also relate to he pours the cereal into the bowl and then he
Yeah.
goes to get the milk and
There's no milk or
either,
very little
yeah,
milk.
yeah. There's not enough.
So just a PSA, just for everybody out there, if you have a roommate, you're living with a family, if you are going to pour milk and you're going to leave less than what we say 6 to 8 ounces of milk, just dump the rest of it in your bowl or dump the rest of it out, because all you're doing is setting someone up for failure.
For the love of God.
Well, hold on. Unless you have a coffee drinker like me, like I like a little bit of milk in my
That's what they
coffee.
make. That's what they make creamer for, Shadwick. Okay.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope,
True.
It's not the same. I don't want that synthetic shit.
I'm trying to protect people from ruining their moment. So
Yeah, exactly. And of course, his dad instantly, when he shows up in the kitchen, before we get to the amazing scene,
It's one of my
tells him to get
favorite. One of my favorites.
Tells him to get some water, dude.
Yeah, put some water in there.
True.
The way he's eating those fucking
Every
grapes.
time I come in the kitchen,
Yeah.
you in the kitchen. In the goddamn refrigerator. Eating up all the food. All the chicken. All the pig feet. I want to eat some of them chicken. I love pig feet.
And he starts like he starts griping because he told him to take the garbage out the night before,
right?
And he fell asleep, and which, man, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
With my own son, but and he's about to put all the cereal into the trash, and he's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "We ain't got no milk." He goes, You better put some water on that damn shit."
Dude,
So I've never done the water on cereal, but I do know somebody one time that told me at work that their significant other, they're out of milk and already poured the cereal and literally cracked a beer and poured the beer in the cereal.
Oh my God, I've never been that down bad. God,
I was like,
everything that fun.
and I could be wrong, but I assume in this situation it was natural light. So,
please.
Oh,
So just know it could be worse. Anyway, leave milk in the refrigerator, guys. If you're
Could have
gonna
been.
do it.
It could have been some Ice House or some Bud Ice Light, maybe.
Bro, there's so to the pig feet comment. I gotta mention, this is a big memory for me because I was in high school and I had a math teacher. He's probably like 50 years old. Was like the nicest, like quietest guy you've ever like seen. Just super laid back or whatever. But in the middle of this ridiculous quiz, like we're all sitting there silent, and the door cracks open, and you just hear a voice say, "I like pigs' feet." To which the class erupts. I haven't even seen the movie at this point in time. I had not seen it. We're all laughing. My teacher gets up and he attacks the door, runs in, swings it open to see who said it. The dude's long gone.
Yeah.
Of course. Like he's long gone. And like he's so angry. And so later on I asked my friend, I'm like, why was he so mad? And my friend was like, I guess he doesn't like pig's feet. I don't know.
And does he say hog maws?
I don't know. We should probably look into that.
In up all the hog maws.
Yeah, probably. So, like, there's hog jowls. I know that's probably what he means by that. And, dude, so, like, that's obviously...
We eat every year, by the way. Julie's
That's-
mom always cooks them on New Year's, and they're like,
Oh, good for you.
they're like fatty bacon.
Yes.
But it also is instant heartburn, and you're pretty sure you're having a heart attack after you eat like half of one. So,
and that's another thing to mention too is like that we're talking like instant ghetto food, but also watching the scene, I took away two things. I was like, did I grow up poorer than I remember? Because like I remember like Chris said, like I've eaten some of those things, and it's like you just
always ate those.
Before anyone turns their nose up at it and they're disgusted, like a lot of this food comes from the Depression era, right? Where people didn't waste shit like we do now. We just didn't throw whole turkey dinners and stuff down the drain like on The Simpsons. Like we just we didn't get rid of whatever. Like we used everything, you know, when you're fucking dead broke and you're poor. So that's where a lot of this comes from. It comes from that tradition, right?
Oh,
like and
there-
that's
my,
Southern
my
tradition.
my dad would kick my ass if I threw away a whole bowl of cereal.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Which-
bad.
Which leads me to my second point. Watching this scene back in the 90s when I first saw it, and dude's dad, like Craig's dad, bitching at him and him rolling his eyes. I felt that scene so hard. And
Dude,
now I watch it
very
again.
relatable.
Very relatable. Now I watch it from the other side when I'm closer to Craig's dad's age, now that he's better than him, and I feel it again from the other side. I'm like, there's no way you're about to pour a whole thing of cereal down in the trash.
Do you know how much that shit costs? Like, yeah, like, you know, back then you didn't think about it, man.
But you know what? Back then, what was cereal? $1.79 for a box, maybe. Now it's like probably $4
or $5 for
Yeah.
that.
Also, let's just take a look at the fact that they were just pouring sugar down our fucking throats. As
No
children. Here's some carbs and sugar. Eat up, you lovely children.
Like some of the cereals that I loved back then, I can't eat now. Like it's just like Cookie Crisp.
I can't really do milk.
Maybe you're lactose intolerant.
No, I just
I don't-
poop too much.
I don't want to hear about female problems.
Dude, the scene's legendary. And then I think y'all mentioned before the podcast started that John Witherspoon ad-libbed a bunch of that, which a lot of that got cut, but you could tell what made it in was still like him ad-libbing.
Yeah, if you go back, there's a director's cut now that exists. It's pretty prominent. You can find it in a bunch of different places.
Well, and you know, I don't know how old he was supposed to be in that, but for us growing up, teenage boys eat nonstop.
Yeah.
So like that rings true too.
Also,
with my dad, he was always like, always in the damn refrigerator.
Yeah, always eating.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing too is like when his mom comes in the kitchen and she's like starting to cook eggs and you know whatever else, like
She makes herself like a 5-course meal.
I know,
for
and like he thinks like you
Yeah,
can tell
hook
the
it
way,
up.
the way he thinks like he's about to get some of that, then she just makes his big ass plate for herself. Like he's got to drink that watered down cereal. Better not throw that shit away, bro.
I've had
Get in trouble.
Water's cereal. It is beyond terrible.
Yeah,
Don't
no
do
thanks.
it.
Just
Don't
eat
do
ramen
it.
noodles until your hair falls out in your kidneys.
Which will happen.
Highly
Chris
recommended.
found out. Oh my god, dude. So
Did you cook your ramen in like hot dog water?
Probably. I mean, I was eating shaved ham on top of that. There's a lot of bad choices I made in my life. Okay, we got here. That's all that matters.
that haunted him it haunted him to this very day, but at least he's here. That's all that matters. So Craig's dad yells at him to take out the trash and just basically just is his dad. And everybody's been there, like we mentioned before, in that situation. Your dad's yelling at you. You can't do nothing right. You're in the kitchen trying to eat. He's yelling at you. You
And
forgot to
he
take
also
out the
like
trash.
you find out here that he got fired. He got fired on his day off, and he thinks his mom's has his back.
You didn't tell Daddy what happened yesterday, did you?
You know I wouldn't tell on my baby.
Cool.
Then his dad's like, they have that epic bathroom scene where his dad's just taking a fat fucking shit and making him come in there.
In the bathroom.
His mannerisms are fucking amazing. That is comedic, physical comedy unmatched by him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, even to the point where he's in the middle of a sentence and he
Take a look at that paper over there on the counter.
Yeah, that shit. Spraying the fucking air freshener and shit. Like while he's doing it, he's glistening already. It looks like he's just been working hard in there, like getting that shit out. Like
that's brutal, dude. It's brutal. And I don't think, do they make dads like that anymore? Shut up, maybe you could sound off. Do you sit shirtless and basically mostly nude like my dad did?
Yeah.
Like I was never in the bathroom with him, but that's the kind of thing that like
I hate to derail this to something that we talked about at work a few days ago, which is really weird for me to even say this. But you used to see your dad naked sometimes, and that was just like a thing. And some of the younger kids were like, no. Like, I've never seen my dad naked. I'm like, I guess that went away with our parents because they'd sometimes just walk around out of the shower. They didn't give a fuck. Like, if you're wandering around as a kid, there's old dad's dick just hanging out,
just fucking hanging brain, dude, flopping around.
Look like a bat hanging upside down in an earthquake.
So in my family,
Lord Graybush.
Yeah, woo,
dude. So in my family, like my dad's like room was the off limits domicile. If the door was open, didn't matter. There was an invisible shield.
Yep.
Like he would strut around nude back there, whatever. You shouldn't be looking back there.
Yeah,
that's
been
his
standing
room.
there.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, doesn't matter. There's a long hallway down there. You can clearly see that's his personal space, and door open or closed.
I'd like to say that
was.
apparently that has gone to the wayside. Talking to younger people at work now, so.
Probably
good
for
job
the best on that one. Well done, society, for eliminating mostly and fully nude dads.
I don't remember seeing my dad naked, but I do remember when I was a little kid, like being in the bathroom while he was taking shit. Like,
I just remember it was not like, I mean, it wasn't like all the time, but like if I happened to be in my mom and dad's room, wandered in there, like when he's getting out of the shower, he's not fucking covering up. Like it's, got to get ready for work or whatever. Like, so anyway, sorry to derail a nice talk about dad dick. But here we are.
It's gone away, but
be kind. Let's rewind. Delivers the goods.
Just like our dads.
Just like our dads. Just think about that bat just swinging, earthquake going on.
So we get a little bit of plot point.
You catch him by surprise when just coming out of the shower and he turns and that big meaty thing that flings water like a fucking like Rocky getting hit. Like
it's not sentient. It's not sentient. It doesn't have a mind of its own.
Stop. It's not Ghidorah or Monster Zero. Coming at Godzilla. Oh, Jesus.
When Craig's dad hands him an application to be a dog catcher, much like him, Craig refuses, of course. And he leaves the bathroom. Then we get those two quick scenes. Crackhead Felicia comes by to borrow some shit.
Yep.
The second crackhead we see.
which I do know this. My son's 19 now.
Mm-hmm.
When he was in school, they would say "Bye, Felicia," and they didn't know what the fuck was from.
I fucking noticed that too. There's younger people at work, and they would say that shit. They'd be like, someone said like "Bye, Felicia," and I was like, Friday, and they're like, what? And I was like, God, fucking damn it!
Like the first time I heard him say it, I was like, oh, respect, and he's like, I don't know what it.
You looked your son dead in the eyes, and you're like.
His whole generation, bitches leave.
So
bitches leave.
This actually leads up to one of my favorite fucking scenes that you're about to talk about. The phone call from his, I guess, current girlfriend with two live fucking crew, big booty hoes, Buddha playing in the background every time she's in the fucking scene.
It's not as good as when she shows up later on, but it is blasting in the background. It comes. That's coming.
She is the ghettoest of ghetto. Like looking.
Who the fuck you go to the show with last night?
Yeah, like that. Yeah. That shit. Which she is like everybody's seen a friend with that type of girlfriend or had that type of girlfriend where they're just looking for fucking drama every single time.
Or
completely.
Or your friend dated a girl like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, all I'm saying is like She wasn't nothing but a hoochie mama, a hood rat hoochie mama.
There it is. Thank you, 2 Live Crew. The
Big booty
sages of our-
hoes up in it.
Just a side note, 2 Live Crew used to fuck people on stage during their shows in the 90s. That was a real
They
thing.
did.
Look it up.
That actually happened. Yeah, go look that up. We need to
Chadwick's
talk about
like,
them,
do they
dude.
still tour? And how would one join 2 Live Crew?
Can I just like be part of the security team? Like, I just want to keep people off the stage.
You know they got the runoff. Come on, let's not lie to ourselves.
Why am I always so inappropriate?
So right after this, Craig's friend Smokey shows up, and of course Craig does the natural thing when greeting your friends. He sticks a gun in his face, with his finger on the trigger.
As you do, yeah.
With what? You ain't got nothing, man?
With this.
Man, where you get that from?
Your mama?
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
As one does on occasion,
But it's also like the introduction to that, like Craig now owns a gun. Like it's kind of a good, like once you kind of, you're not going to pick it up the first time through, but now like, hey, because he's like, where did you get that? Because he said, you ain't got no gun or whatever.
You don't have a
He
gun.
pulls out the gun.
Yeah, and and I'm sure we all had that one friend. Like we were great friends. We would forgive them for everything, but they were kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Like Smokey was coming in through the window, messing up his curtains.
Yeah, all that shit. But it's like he's an asshole, but he's your asshole.
Yeah.
It's like Lou
Dray-
Jordan on
he's
Hot Tub Time.
Draymond.
It's Draymond Green, from the Warriors.
Again, I did grow up. I didn't grow up in the ghetto, but I did grow up in the South, and I would be lying if I said I never had a gun stuck in my face as well.
Yeah.
So it just like
We had
Chadwick
shotguns shot at us going on people's property before.
I had a gun.
Leaving the school bus.
Wow.
Yeah, we.
I had
we should have been standing there.
I had a gun pointed at the back of my head in the theater one time.
Jesus.
Well, there he goes. There he goes.
You remember when that Regal Theater outside the mall was like the $2 movies or whatever?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went with a group of friends from work. We went like during the day, and it was a shit movie. It was Fear.com, fucking terrible movie. But some people, like, we're the only, like I said, it's middle of the day. We're like the only 3 people in there, and then another group comes in, and they sit right behind us and start like kicking the seat and shit. Like they were just like trying to stir up trouble, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like I turned around and looked, and they're like, "You better turn around, or I'm gonna shoot you in the fucking head." So like I turned around, and obviously I don't remember the rest of the movie because my butthole was puckered up.
Yeah.
And I remember the dude saying, I could hear him tell the guy beside him, "Is like, I'm going to go to the car and get my gun." So he goes out, comes back, sits back down behind me, puts his foot like right by my head again, like kicks the seat, and then I hear the
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So did you just get up and leave, or did you finish the movie on principle?
I finished the movie on principle.
You
Respect.
fucking idiot.
Guess what? That's fine, because you know what? Like, Be Kind, Let's Rewind, exercising our gun-related trauma on the podcast as well.
Be Kind, Let's Rewind delivers. So glad you could open up and share that one for everybody. So
that's frighteningly bad. But it happens.
I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Sweet. Awesome. You weren't going to sleep anyway.
That's true.
Very, very true. So we get our actual first plot point at this point in time as well, because up until now, it's basically just been ghetto hijinks, and which is hilarious. But again, we've had some legendary performances too. We've met a lot of crazy characters, but we finally get our first plot point when Big Worm shows up, hitting switches outside of outside of Craig's house, and he tells Smokey basically, despite. Yeah, like, where's my money at? And despite Smokey's protest to the contrary, we know that he has indeed been smoking his shit.
You smoking my shit?
Hell no. Fuck with your shit? Hell no.
You smoking my shit?
Now why would I do some shit like that?
I'm gonna have to fuck you up, Smokey.
Yes, absolutely.
Instead of selling it.
He is addicted to this thing called marijuana that you can't be addicted to, apparently, I've been told.
He's in love with Mary Jane.
He is, dude. By the way,
She makes his heart sing.
That song's
Rick
on
James. Rick James, there he is, singing that song. So, also the
Rick
guy
James.
Yeah.
Fuck your couch.
So that the guy that plays Big Worm has actually been in like a couple episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Harassment and your love for the New Kids on the Block movie.
And they said that like I guess they gave him a script.
Phase on love.
Yeah, he just didn't fucking read the script. And
Oh,
he just ad-libbed.
that wasn't Warren Sapp.
No, he just didn't even he just ad-libbed, didn't read the script, and they were like, I mean, the shit was better than what we wrote, so it's fine.
The guy's a legendary like stand-up comedian too. Phase on
Yeah,
love
he's funny as
is
shit.
So funny.
He said he didn't realize how big the movie had gotten until
he was the one for like football tryouts.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, so he said he didn't realize how big Friday was in this doc I watched until he was over in a different country and somebody was like, Big Worm, Big Perm. And he's like, what? And it was like years later.
Well, dude, that movie jumped the racial line, I think.
I think so too.
It absolutely did.
It was okay. I guess I think it did
Well,
okay in box office, but then like it
mean,
became a cult classic immediately.
It wasn't the first because Coming to America was.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, but this was like the gangster rap era of this type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this was a different '90s edge type movie, and we got the badass song Friday out of it too, which is a fucking banger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It did transition in a lot of ways because I feel like, I mean, Coming to America had a lot of hilarious character performances, but it basically featured like Eddie Murphy. And Arsenio Hall basically carrying the weight. Like these were a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
And it's like Ice Cube is literally playing a straight man.
Yes.
Chris Tucker is outlandish as fuck. But it doesn't feel like Coming to America where it's like you said, a 2-man show. Like there's a lot of supporting guys. Like there's a lot of weight being carried by every character in this movie.
There is, and it deals with topics that are far more relatable.
Yeah.
Than Coming to America, because I don't know how many people understand what it's like to be an African prince. And, fish out of water story.
Bath,
this had
The royal penis is clean, Your Highness.
The royal penis.
Yeah.
This had all those like ghetto tropes, like Smokey. He has this little convertible piece of shit car. Like the brakes won't even like hold it in place.
Shocks are fucking shot.
Dude, the seatbelt's fucking broken. He has to tie a knot.
And then he hits like the car alarm.
Yeah. And everybody was like that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. That's so fucking funny.
We all did, dude. We all did. So I feel like there's a lot more relatable topics in Friday than Coming to America.
Oh yeah.
Coming to America was a great story.
But it's still like, this one was just great, especially when he said, like I said, when he was, I forgot what country he said he was in, but he was like, what the fuck, man? Like, how did Friday get all the way over here? Like,
dude,
on the street he's recognized. It's crazy.
And to that point, like the budget was $3.5 million for the movie, dude. In the box office, it's nothing. And the box office, dude, it made $27.4 million.
Which is still not a lot of money in the box office, but what you paid for it and what you got. I would like to know what their DVD sales were and their streaming rights and all that shit. Dude, Ice Cube has made a fucking fortune off this movie.
Yeah.
You're right. It's I don't know what they paid Big Perm, but it probably wasn't nearly enough.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Wow.
So,
it was a smash.
So Smokey's come over, and are they out on the front stoop now?
We are finally out on the porch where the majority of this movie does take place. Craig's real love interest comes running by, played by hot ass Paula Jai Parker.
Dude, I saw like her in this documentary I saw was probably 10 years ago or whatever. She has gotten hotter. Like she has fucking gorgeous. Like,
she is aged like fine fucking wine. She is still beautiful, man. Look her up. IMDb her.
Yeah,
she's
for sure.
Still insanely gorgeous. Like it's still insanely gorgeous.
Did she did she stay? Did she stay in acting after this?
I remember her being in. I want to say she was in. Wasn't she in Fresh Prince before this or some shit? Like,
she's been in so much back then in the 90s. Have you ever seen the movie Phone Booth? That movie is actually excellent. She is in that. She plays a character named Felicia, ironically.
Nice.
Interestingly enough, but she's been active.
Colin Farrell, right?
Yeah, Colin Farrell. She's been So she's actually been active until this last year. So
the character name Joy, and then her sister is Felicia.
Felicia.
So they're
Somehow.
like polar opposites. Like Joy is like nice, upstanding. She's got all of her teeth, I hear.
Yeah.
And then her sister is just like wearing, what's it called, like culottes or whatever, and like a stained up t-shirt.
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
all
just-
disheveled.
She
looks like she's
cracked
sick.
out.
Yeah, she's always just like wanting to borrow something from somebody.
Yeah.
She's like, she came over to Smokey. She's like,
I need to borrow your car right quick.
What kind of shit is that?
hey, people ask for sugar.
Yeah, no, that's this. But I mean, you've also known people like that are just fucking nuts like that. So is this where we first get the Deebo scene of him?
This is the black and white flashback to
little
Deebo.
fucking tidbit here that I found out. Michael Clark Duncan is in this fucking scene, which I had no idea. But if you look in here, the guy.
I try to take it away, boss.
But if you look here in the background, you'll be able to see him right there behind Smokey.
Yeah.
Good solid back pumpkin, man. Well, tuck that chin. There he is.
So yeah,
Unbelievable, dude.
And in that first shot, even though he was directly behind someone, you could still see him.
Yeah, I know, man. He's massive.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess him and Gary, he used to give Gary Gray shit, I guess, probably up until the day that he passed, that he didn't give him a speaking line. He was apparently begging him to be like, just give me one speaking line in the scene or whatever. He just couldn't, because you have to pay him more, I guess, when you do it. But it's like, but I mean, really, what did Michael Clark Duncan go on to do, So probably
He's a nobody.
Yeah,
so
good
it's
call,
fine.
Gary Gray.
I mean, well, he helped. He did help blow up that asteroid before it hit the Earth.
He did.
He did.
He did. He was really good. He was really, really good. Thank you for that.
He's also
Sacrifice
amazing in
will-
Talladega Nights. Last chance romance.
Don't you put that evil on me.
And in Slammin' Salmon.
Oh,
Let's
yeah,
go.
Saying, yeah, 100%.
If
But,
no one's seen it, no one's ever seen that movie, but you need to watch it. It's fucking excellent.
100%.
Right? So that flashback.
And he did a small, like a little festival movie called The Green Mile too.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I heard it did okay.
It was a throwaway,
throwaway flick. But so this
So
is
that
when you find
flashback-
out. Yeah, you find out Deebo is the bully in the neighborhood now, or he's, and so that kind of sets him up for his introduction, where you don't want to fuck with this guy because apparently he'll punch you into the fucking solar system.
Yeah, and
after he
and that little the flashback that you're playing, it shows. Was it Red comes to get his bike, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the reason he's there. with
Yeah,
his
so
dad.
so
Dad's
Deebo
making him doing it.
Yeah, so Deebo he'd taken his bike, but he was kind of saying like, I'll let you borrow it or whatever. And he knocks him into another dimension, and his dad's sitting there and he goes, "You want some of this, old man?" And the guy's like, "Nope."
No. Picks his son up and gets the fuck out of there.
I don't know why you messing with these boys.
Yeah.
Instead of looking for another job after obviously, he was fired, at this point in time, he's like guilty or innocent. He doesn't really like maintain his innocence that well. I noticed like watching this again. He's kind of like, I didn't do it, but they said they got me on camera, and I'm just like watching this. I'm like, then you're guilty.
Yeah.
But it's like, what do you mean they say they got you?
Got you.
Well, Red comes up later and he's like,
Yeah.
It's like, we watched the video. It kind of looks like your head, but you can't really tell.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but he was fired for stealing boxes
Boxes,
on
yeah.
his day off.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Smokey's like, what are you building a clubhouse?
Right. So
fuck
did
you
he
get-
have like a UPS job or something?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
working
yeah.
with Red, right?
Right,
He's supposed to
right.
be with Red. They're just kind of sitting on the porch, and they go on all kinds of like ghetto ass adventures. They go to a convenience store.
Where you see the crackhead trying to... Actually, that's where Gary Gray is the store owner in this. So when he falls down
Yes.
and the crackhead, Ezel's like,
My back! My neck and my back! Oh!
that guy that's like telling him to get out, that's Gary Gray. That's the director.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the Asian guy that shows up with a gong.
No.
Oh, my neck and my back.
Yeah. Which led to someone writing a song that talked about their pussy and their crack following that. So, hey, it rhymes. So, there you go.
That's all you need.
As long as it rhymes, it's fine.
That does sound good. I think I'll have that.
Flow.
And we get to see. So they return back to the porch, and then we get to see Miss Parker, who we find out actually she just doesn't
know, man. And I actually have the scene here because right after they see Miss Parker outside, I've got the scene where we get introduced to Mr. Bernie Mac.
very, very close.
And so,
What
after
you got-
this, Craig's mom leaves. She goes to work,
For
which
what?
Leaf pointed out is probably like.
Probably smoke bud too.
But Bernie Mac is going to steal the show.
All right, he does. Well, see, but yeah, Sister Jones in? Nope. Neither's Brother Jones. They both at work.
Well, your ass need to be niggle.
Excuse me, brother. What we call drugs is 74th Street Baptist Church. We call us sin.
Well, around here, between Normandy and Weston, we call this here a little twin. Nigga.
Why don't you just give him a little bit for my cataract?
Then he wants
Put
some for his
in on
fucking
this,
cataracts.
man.
Like,
Let me get a receipt, my brother.
Oh, here we go. Here he goes.
Look, she bending over. Lord have mercy. The Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want. Excuse me, brother. Miss Parker! Miss Parker! Can I talk to you, Miss Parker?
Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want.
He know what I want.
Yeah, but right. I
There's
jumped
got to
the
be a
gun.
Lord somewhere.
Yeah, I jumped the gun a little bit on that one because I guess the mom leaves at that point, as Lee pointed out in his notes.
Earlier,
Yeah, it's probably like 4 o'clock in the afternoon going to work. Like,
Dude, it's so late. They've already gone. This movie is gone on 15, 20 minutes.
So-
They've gone on multiple adventures. She's
Are
just
they-
now leaving.
Are they talking about Miss Parker, or are they talking about when Joy ran by when Smokey's like, just give me 3.5 minutes, maybe even 4.
I think it's Miss
The
Parker.
first time. Yeah, when Miss Parker jogs
comes
by.
Or no, she didn't jog, but she's just in the front yard or whatever.
Excuse
spraying
me,
shit.
watering her. Her.
Maybe even 4. Yeah.
Miss Parker just don't know.
She doesn't.
Yes.
Actually, they had that lady that played Miss Parker in one of the documentaries I watched, and she said, like, still to this day, people will be like, Miss Parker? And she's just like, they always want me to go, hi, boys.
Hi, boys.
When we want to fuck Miss Parker.
What was that?
Nothing.
And we all would have. Every last one.
100%. Yeah.
Every single one of us. So she's so also during that time in Smokey smoking a bunch more of Big Worm's weed. Kind of, it's easy when you first watch this to just be like, oh, he's smoking weed, but it's really actually an important plot point you might miss.
Yep.
Is he's supposed to be selling that weed, not smoking it, and the whole time he's got 3 joints in his mouth at one point in time, and it's just
and he's doing some little Michael Jackson moves.
Oh,
there.
yeah, man. He was a huge.
Yes.
Chris Tucker's a giant Michael Jackson fan.
Dude, he hung out with him.
I think they did. Didn't he do something on The Girl's Mind, the video?
He did. He was in one of the videos. Like he was in. He played like one of the characters for gangsters or whatever in that. And Chris Tucker was in there with him. So
it was pretty funny.
Yeah, real huge. Yeah. So the next scene, right after that, we get Deebo rolling up on his bike.
With the Jaws theme.
With a remixed version of the Jaws theme that just plays when he shows up.
So we're 49ers fans. So one of the players we have is Deebo Samuel.
Shout out Deebo Samuel.
So if Chris and I are not together watching a game and Deebo does something good, we have this little GIF that we'll send.
Yeah.
It's just you just see Deebo's feet pedaling that bike.
Yeah, pedaling the bike or whatever. Yeah.
Like,
didn't we have like some comic relief after this too with Tony Cox?
We do indeed.
Bernie Mac is trying to go exercise some demons in Miss Parker's house.
Yeah,
he is, dude. He's trying to.
By any means.
Any means necessary.
As Bernie Mac is slinking into Mrs. Parker's house, he's talking about having a prayer circle or like a prayer chain with her. He's going in there to fuck, and everybody knows it, and it's hilarious. But Mr. Parker actually arrives home. And basically chases Bernie Mac out of the house, which is, if you're just listening to my description, you've never seen the movie, you think, oh no, that's some tea, right? But turns out Mr. Parker's played by the famous dwarf actor Tony Cox. which
Tony
has been in.
Cox has been in. So was Me, Myself, and Irene. Was
So
in Bad Santa.
Oh yes, she's gonna eat blubber just as soon as I free Willie.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask that. Why the hell do they always like put him with really hot ass like women?
Store Dick's dead.
Yeah. Well, that was Bernie Mac too.
Yeah.
It was
shit.
Bernie Mac.
I never put that together.
Would you draw me a fucking diagram of how I'm gonna move it?
Those two have. You didn't get much of it here. Those two have amazing chemistry, or had amazing.
Dude,
chemistry.
they do. They do, man.
Store Dick's dead.
40%.
Yeah. So there's that
Hoff.
scene. It's super funny, like, of course, because it's just ridiculous. Of
Dude,
course, it's
it
just
is.
dumb. It's dumb.
So
but it's
stupid,
hilarious.
but it's like it's. I mean, this whole movie's comic relief, but that just that's just like the twist you didn't see coming. It's just fucking funny.
So Bernie Mac comes running out of the house, and I think he's got on like some pink underwear, and he's
Yeah.
carrying his clothes, and that dude, little dude's like chasing him out. And then Miss Parker comes out. She's like, "We're just praying, baby. We're just praying."
He's like kicking her out too. Like it's just all this
He's
drama
like-
on the front yard.
And Bernie Mac, he's doing. To me, one of the funniest things is like a masculine guy when they do a high pitched scream.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's so damn funny. So he's doing that, trying to get in his car, and Mr. Parker like throws a brick through his back windshield.
Which,
yeah,
yes,
he throw. That's what.
He's like-
I actually noticed that. Like that was like a really good. As he's going away, he's got the brick and he tosses it. They have a good cut where it hits
And
the
then-
back window.
And it's funny too. He's talking about a preacher, and he goes,
Yeah.
yeah, just a skeezer, like an absolute
amazing.
skeezer. It's so funny. So finally, Craig, who don't smoke weed, as he's constantly reminded us, gets high on some delicious chronic, which for the uninitiated is very, very strong weed. I've been told.
But back
Very,
then,
very
it would be nothing compared to what we're doing now. Which actually kind of brings me to something real quick.
"You can't even drink milk."
To talk about a little bit of infidelity and things that shouldn't be happening. I don't know if you guys knew anything about this Nickelodeon scandal that came out. There's a new documentary that came out about
The foot guy.
Yeah, apparently Dan Snyder, some other stuff's going on, which leads me to shit stuck in my head this week.
Like there was this crossing guard who used to grab all the kids' asses. Back then, people weren't on the lookout for that kind of thing. The only way to nail a guy like that was to catch him red-handed. That's where the super glue came in.
Hey, look, everybody! Crossing guard grabbing 8-year-old's ass over here! Look, everybody! Look!
Super Glue could have gone a long way, Nickelodeon. Just saying. So,
Damn,
all right.
dude, I haven't heard anything about that. What the? Fuck?
It's fucking. It's
This dude.
he's
He was. Yeah, he was like the main.
Guess
the main
what?
dude.
Guess what else he was in? Head of the class with that fucking stupid bitch. So I guess everyone on that set was awful.
Oh, that Robin Givens bitch.
Yeah. So I guess
That lying fucking cunt.
they need to just go ahead and get ahead. And if you were on that fucking show, they should just go ahead and lock you up. So I'm just saying,
Just
don't-
preemptively, dude.
So
Crackhead Felicia
yeah.
shows up a second time, and this is where we get that the famously, probably most erroneously quoted scene in all of the movie to borrow, and she's again, of course, ready to borrow some more shit. The first time it was the microwave.
No, first time it was the car.
It was the car, then the microwave.
This the car.
This
Okay.
So this one was always funny to me because she's standing there and it's almost like an afterthought to her. Like it just like pops in her head. She's like, "Oh, I was gonna ask, can I borrow your VCR?"
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, like
Yeah, it's always some shit.
I smoke
And
grass, Joe Rogan.
She looks so cracked out, man. It's nasty.
Yeah, and Craig, ask you, he's just sit back, relax. He's like, "Bye, Felicia."
Yeah, and then everybody grabbed that and ran with it. Fucking 30 years later.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, like.
Yeah.
I believe it's because black culture used it as as sort of a get the hell out of here kind of moment from this movie. And like most, or not most, but a lot of things like other cultures kind of caught on to it.
The whites catch up a decade later.
Shit,
A decade later, 1 or 2 decades
Yeah.
later, they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that means get the hell out of my face, bye, Felicia." Well, I'm gonna use it, and
Yeah.
like they have no idea what the context.
How disappointed were you and your son when he said bye, Felicia, and you referenced Friday, and he just looked at you blankly?
In his offense,
no, here we are.
No. He
excuses.
He actually knew what it was from.
Okay.
And I had watched the movie with him, but
you're a good dad.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I felt like I had to properly prepare him for public school. So we watched stuff like that. We watched Get Him to the Greek.
Yeah.
Also, it was way too early for him to watch.
All the comedies that are really fucking crude and hilarious. But yeah.
Yep.
Get him ready.
Made him a better person in the end. He'll thank you.
In fact, I remember us. We started to watch Old School, and we put the DVD in, and the fucking DVD menu has the KY girls that
just bouncing in front of the fucking screen. So I remember him telling me, he was like, I was gonna watch Old School with Gavin. How old was he? Like 6? No, I'm just
I don't
kidding.
know.
No, he was like
8.
Yeah. Then he pops it in and he forgets, because you forget. I also had a similar thing happen to me when I was on airplanes, when you used to have the portable DVD player or whatever, and you wouldn't think, like, you'd watch these movies all the time at home. So I'm like, I'll be traveling, I'll watch, like, I was watching Half Baked, and there's this bitch next to me that's drunk as fuck, and she was like, it was the scene where they're all in the shower and it's all the dudes' asses, and she's like, oh my God, what are you watching? And I was like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah, I've had that before.
I forgot about that scene.
I've had that before, like on the elliptical or treadmill at the gym.
Oh yeah, at the gym. Yeah.
And I was watching Ballers, and there was like a bunch of titties in it or whatever, and I just like glanced over, and this woman was like looking at me. I was like, don't look over here.
You should have been standing there.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah. All right, man. Back to Friday.
It's like your dad's bedrooms. You don't look in there.
Yeah.
You don't look down the hallway, dude. That's
Unless you want some of that dad jock.
You gonna take that dick?
Oh God! Could you imagine looking in there and seeing your dad doing that in the mirror?
No, no, I couldn't.
I'm fixing to fucks you. with my dick. All right. Okay.
Smokey makes a phone call during. So hold on, let me back up. So Craig's high as fuck. Finally, on some chronic, right? Like crackhead Felicia shows up to buy some shit. We get to buy Felicia's scene. Felicia's sister though shows up after she gets kicked out. Joy, to evidently hang out with Craig's sister. She's not there, and so Craig ends up kind of hanging out with her, and he's stoned, of course. Smokey makes that phone call and makes a booty call or a date or whatever you call it.
All right,
while that's happening.
2 things real quick.
Yeah.
When Craig is in there with Joy, they're in the living room, and he's like making moves on her or whatever. She asks him if he's been smoking. Yeah. And he's like, why? And she's like, well, you look like you're high. And he said, no. And he like sits there for a minute, and he kind of like fixes his shirt, and he's like, do I still look high?
If anyone's ever been high, there you go.
So
there it is.
So that one was funny, but when he hears the dog whining, and he goes, "What the fuck?" and he looks over at that, it's like a dog statue, right?
Yeah.
That shit gets me every time.
That's fucking amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, so he's like absolutely stoned, and he's instead of making a move on her, because his mom and his sister were already making fun of him earlier in the movie at breakfast about he didn't have any game, right? Like his dad.
Yeah, his dad had game.
His dad had the game. Just such a classy
So
guy.
nobody going there for about 35, 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's it.
And speaking of him, when all this is happening, Joy finally leaves, and they're sitting on the couch, just kind of Smokey and Craig again, because this is just the whole movie. Craig's dad comes home after a 4-hour work day.
Dude, brutal.
And it's brutal, right? It's terrible. But he evidently came home because he was injured. He has he's got a bandage and a hole in his like jumpsuit on his ass.
Why was the dog catcher joke so prevalent in the fucking 80s and 90s? There was, because they even reference it in the new Ted series. Like he's not a dog catcher, but he gets bit by an animal. Like it's like that bit in the ass by an animal joke has been around for fucking forever, and I don't know why it was so prevalent. Like, I mean, it's funny, I guess, but like in the 80s and 90s, it was huge.
And even back then, like he would have been called animal control now, and their job is like a lot more detailed than just catching dogs. There's no such thing as like a dog catcher. There's someone that deals with animals, right? Animal control is what they actually are.
Dog catcher in the rye.
Yeah,
Kill Ronald Reagan.
Jesus.
Someone who has never seen any of this is just gonna be like, "What the
fuck is happening?"
Yeah,
who's watching this?
So he comes home because he's injured. He got bit on the ass by a dog, I guess, and he's hurt. So he's back home now.
As you do, you know.
Yeah, it's like Lincoln. I need another one of those jokes, like a hole in the head. Did that burn?
Still funny, yes.
And so finally, plot point 2, the movie's halfway over now. We get plot point number 2 finally.
Yeah.
In the movie when Big Perm shows up in a snack truck this time, not in his lowrider.
Why is he like moonlighting? Why is his side hustle fucking selling treats out of a snack truck?
Dude. And the kids are like,
but that kid comes up and
What you want?
What you got?
Boy, what the fuck you want?
he's got no time for those kids.
No,
he's just
Why
like
is he?
It's like laundering money through his snack truck. Is he that smart?
He's like Bruce Lee in the Chinese Connection, where you like puts on a disguise. He's just trying to sneak in to threaten Smokey some more.
It doesn't even make any sense,
that
dude.
Shit's amazing.
So he's not even really selling any snacks or ice cream or treats, but the kids are all over the place, and he's actually wants to talk to Smokey, which he does. He motions Smokey to come over,
He gives
and
him
he basically
fucking ultimatum, right? Like, hey, you gotta fucking pay up, or you're about to get smoked.
smoke you, dude. And he's gonna kill Craig for good measure. He has till 10 p.m.
Yep,
and that's it.
Yeah.
So now we get the second plot point.
Yeah, as any good friend would do, he sells out his buddy Craig. He's like, man, my buddy Craig, he lost his job, so you know,
smoked all your weed.
So we've been smoking. You know how we do.
It goes back to he's an asshole, but he's your asshole. It's one of those situations still. Yeah, definitely.
Your asshole that's going to get you murdered by a gangster.
Absolutely.
There you have it.
Yeah.
And then we get one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. Craig's ratchet ass girlfriend shows up.
That shit when she drives off, like he's almost got her. He's almost got her to where she's gonna lend him the money, and she's doing this, you know.
And let's just point out that the money that Smokey owes is only $200. Like he's about to, him and Craig, they're about to be killed for $200
fucking bucks,
which is also the same amount that Deebo stole out of Stanley's house.
Well, now he's got $200.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
true. I did forget to mention that he does get out of Stanley's house. We were talking about the preacher and Mrs. Parker.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do escape with $200 worth of money. Well, Deebo's $200.
She's about to give him the $200. She's going to lend him that $200.
After that, right?
And fucking busted ass Felicia comes up behind him again.
Damn it. For the third time.
And
Wait a minute. Who the fuck is that bitch? Fuck you, motherfucker. You think you're slick? Gonna come over here and ask me for some money. Well, ask that bitch for some money.
Then she's like screams at him, peels out while fucking Two Live Crew is just banging in the background. This may be the most perfect cut together scene of all time with music.
Hoochie Mama.
Yeah.
Up in it.
Yeah, like it's so fucking funny.
That is good shit.
God.
They're not going to get the money. Like, Smokey's a useless piece of shit. He's never had a job his entire life, as far as we can tell, except for selling drugs. And he smoked all the shit.
His mom's 10 years older than him.
And even though he's like got them in this trouble or whatever, Hector rolls up and says, "Hey, come, come sell." He's like, "Come sell, sell me some weed." And he's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, that's why
Craig's like, you better go over there and sell that shit.
Yeah, that's why I'd be all like, "Fuck Hector."
Yeah,
because
it's true.
What do you do? Angel dust.
Yeah.
Like, so I have actually a little nugget in this scene. So when it first cuts to the black and white where it drops down and they're in the car talking, and he does that racist Spanish gibberish. If you look in the background to the left, they said when they were filming the scene, 'cause it was in an actual neighborhood, there was a dude that lived there, and he said everybody was pretty cool, but there was one guy one night that just got fucking hammered, and he would not go back inside. And so they just had to film around him. So if you look in this scene, go back and watch it. I'll clip it in. Yeah. In the very back up in the left, there's just this dude is sitting on the fucking like wall back there, just like hunched over because he's just fucking hammered. Like, and they just filmed this scene around this dude. Like he just
might as well.
Yeah, it was a random drunk dude in the background, man.
Well, it just fits right in though.
Yeah, dude.
I just checked IMDb. Evidently, he's uncredited in this movie.
Some drunk neighbor.
Played by some random dude.
So yeah, so
that's awesome.
So apparently, like there's a little black and white throwback
montage of them,
about how Smokey was he was smoking with Hector and his comrades.
His Hispanic boys.
Yeah. And he didn't know, like he was hitting it pretty hard. He didn't know that it was angel dust, so like he got all wigged out.
I didn't know you like to get wet.
He said,
I'm in Deebo pigeon coop sweating like a slave, and the only person could get me out was my mom.
Yeah. He's so fucking fucked up. He thought he was a pigeon.
He's like, oh.
Yeah, and he tells him he still ain't been right, and he starts like twitching.
Yeah, he's like
twitching that day.
But he'd been doing that since the first of the movie. Like he would twitch here and there, or whatever.
Or as my dear sweet wife said when we were in Jamaica, it was like, oh.
Yeah, that's very true. Your wife cannot roll her R's at all.
Nope.
She can't really.
No, she tried. It was pretty funny.
I have worked with her on tongue exercises.
Right, man.
Okay. And she still can't do
it. So they realize that they're gonna die. So Craig's like, well, I can't let my friend get killed. I'm gonna go get my gun. And his dad, we get the first serious moment in the entire movie. Movie's like nearly 75% over, but we get that scene where he gives that speech and tells him, like Chris said, I didn't realize this, but it's a throwback to perhaps his boxing days. It's just like, dude, men don't settle things with guns. We settle things with our fists.
This is what makes you a man. When I was growing up, this was all the protection we needed. You win some, you lose some. But you live to fight another day.
We hash it out. You know, we fight, we win some, we lose some, but we live to fight another day. And it's super important, and it's a message that I feel like even at that time
today, like
people needed to hear, man. It's like you don't settle things with guns, you settle things with your fist, and everyone lives.
Yeah, he says, you think you're a man with that? You think you're a man with that gun, don't you? And he says, I'm a man without it.
Yeah.
And that like plays back into it later on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's just a great, but also like goes from that comic character. You know, he can flip the switch and do a serious scene like this again.
And
great actor.
And it works. It doesn't feel out of place at all. It feels real. It's that moment. It's a really sobering moment because you're like, if you've seen this in the theater, I imagine your stomach is just in pain.
You're laughing so much.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. This snaps you. This is the opposite we've talked about in episodes past, where it's a super serious movie and they break it with comedy. They're breaking comedy with the serious moment to kind of reset you to continue on.
And John Witherspoon is a king. Like he can do both, and he's so good in this scene. And so
it does kind of hit you in the feels too, because like it kind of speaks to the decline of that neighborhood, because he says your mother and I never would have moved here if we thought you would have had to have a gun to walk down the street.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it's just powerful moments, man. I mean, that's the way it used to be back in the day. You just go fight it. I mean, half the time, we've all been in fights with people. Most of the time, like he says, you win some, you lose some. But half the time, actually, probably 90% of the time, you get done fighting somebody, you're like, all right, we're cool. Like, you get up, shake their hand, and move on, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
I know that might seem strange to some women, because I think that's a thing for guys. Like, we're much we're much more likely to resort to physical violence, of course.
Oh, girls are much more passive aggressive. Like your hair looks so clean.
it hurts so we all wore it different ways, guys. Guys really, and like Chris said, a lot of times, like when you've gone to battle, with a man or against a man, like you two oftentimes come out of friends. Come out friends.
Sports, just boxing, MMA,
and
whatever.
You're mortal enemies in combat and in competition, and then when it's over,
done,
though,
you just get it out of your system.
I know. Yep. I'm sure Chris had this also with the truck company, where you would have a driver that was just a complete asshole, and we're trained to kind of yes sir, no sir, be as polite as you can. But that one day when you snap and fucking give it back to him, then that dude's like your best friend.
Yeah, they respect you. It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's sometimes you just got to get it out, man. It's people are always pushing. We're fucking animals, man. Like we're always testing boundaries, seeing who's alpha, who's not, who's links.
You have to push back and see who's going to pee down their leg first.
Yeah. Sometimes I just pee for fun. So
sometimes you just gotta get out of your system. But
golden showers, diamond showers.
I like those.
I like those. But you have those moments where combat and competition. It turns out to be a bonding experience. And I think that's why it was important that John Witherspoon taught
speaking of bonding, we have a bonding experience where good old Red, something about his chain.
And I got mind control over Deebo.
As Deebo rolls up,
he shut the fuck up
and steals
I be quiet.
Red's chain.
But when he leaves,
Craig and Smokey didn't stick up for him.
Well, you know what?
Man, my grandmama gave me that chain.
Those fucking Squidward arms.
Oh, dude. You gonna cry in the car.
He's so he's so defeated with his little Squidward arms going back and forth when he's running.
My favorite is when it builds up and he's like
he starts to, as soon as he starts
Stevie
to cry,
Wonder.
Yeah, you see him starting, he's about to lose it. He's just about to get out of there. That shit is so funny.
Every time he starts to cry, I fucking lose it. And the thing is, there's nothing else happening in the scene. That's what makes it so funny.
And
they're just watching him
and if you notice, as he's running up to the car, you hear the alarm turn off again.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, you do.
Yes. So Deebo does show up and take Red's chain, tries to rob. He just can't help himself, dude. He has to rob.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's kind of Red's fault because he just tucked his in.
Yeah, they had a little place they stashed him before, man, and he should have known.
Dude, he should have been.
Next time.
In my opinion, DJ Pooh should have known better than to wear Deebo's chain. That's the real. That's the lesson that I understand here.
Agree.
Yep.
He shouldn't be wearing Deebo's stuff. Of course, after Deebo tries to rob, after he does rob Red and take his chain, we're all still reeling from the way that Red runs. We get we get another montage back to seriousness of Smokey and Craig worrying about being murdered.
Yes.
And it's broken up, never to be serious for too long, about Smokey's date that he already made. With what's her name? I can't remember her name.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I don't know, but when she talked to him on the phone, he asked her to describe herself, and she's like, I'm thick, I'm light skinned. People say I look like Janet Jackson. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I know. So she
shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's excited. She shows up.
And I believe Shadwick's favorite scene is when she gets out of the car.
So yeah, she pulls up, and he goes to the passenger side, and he's looking in the window, and immediately it was false advertising. He's completely turned off, but she gets out, and as she's getting out, she just lets this juicy fart.
She just rips ass getting out of the car.
Let's just
deuce and a half.
Deuce.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
not bad though,
She's like precious. She's like, I'm a big girl.
Yeah.
But he's talking to her, and I know I've done this before. I've used my mom as an excuse to get out of a blind date or whatever. And
I've also used your mom as an excuse to get out of a blind.
Yeah. Which is weird because I was actually going to see Sean's mom.
Nailed it.
Got him.
But
I bet that tastes good.
There it is. Y'all were wondering. Y'all thought you were going to escape, but you don't. You don't leave this podcast without hearing
Pizza Gorilla every time.
Pizza Gorilla.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, he's telling the chick, he's like, man, we could hang out, but I gotta go pick up my mom, and
she's like,
and he's like, why don't you go get something to eat? I know you're hungry.
Yeah.
and she goes, and then she's got this hat on, and she goes, no, because I already ate 2 times earlier, and she takes her hat off, and her hair is like her weave is like built into the hat.
Yeah,
and he goes, God damn!
Yeah. Real Chris Tucker line there, 100%. But he does pick up a receipt on the other end, but the girl that Joy's the one hooked him up, right? So
right.
We got this scene where
Why you hook me up with that fat ass bald head girl?
Joy.
Who, Rita?
Yeah.
Rita was her name.
Rita is not fat. She's just big bone.
Shit. That girl wild and all outside. Talking about she looked like Janet Jackson.
Ooh, no, she didn't go there.
Yeah, bitch got out of the car looking more like Freddie Jackson.
This is a great line. Great fucking line.
Joy did him wrong. Joy did him
wrong. She just thought he needed a little slap and pickle. Sometimes it's what you need.
Well, you know what? In Joy's defense, he asked her what she looked like, and she said she's really nice.
Oh yeah, read between the lines.
Yeah, like he should have known. He's stupid. He should be high all the time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. Drugs. Say no to drugs. Also, what did Catcher in the Rye teach me? Oh yeah, kill.
So 9:30 comes.
What? It's what the book told me. Just leave me alone.
9:30 comes and Smokey gets a page from Big Worm about his money. And Big Worm hangs up because Smokey's basically starts making excuses.
Yep.
And so it's on. They're dead. And 10 p.m. comes. Craig gets his gun because he knows it's about to
be on, man.
And they get caught up in the drive-by.
A hail of gunfire, which actually is this
bloodbath ensues.
Yeah, this part always kind of fucking hits me hard because it's like is probably white trash and whatever we grew up in. Like I never had to fear a fucking drive-by in my neighborhood. So it's kind of like always kind of hits me hard like watching this one where it's like, fuck man, like that's a whole nother level of shit. Like
that's some domestic terrorism right there, 110%. Not knowing, when gunshots are gonna ring out and slam into your living room and whatever.
Fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gunshots ring out like a bell. I grabbed my 9. All I heard was shells.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Wait, did you just quote Robert Van Winkle?
So honestly, the Chris Tucker kind of makes it funny because Chris Tucker's and he's screaming, and it's like, he makes it more comedic. But like there's a serious undertone to it. So the assassination fails. They actually escape. While the gangsters are looking for them, they have in the back of is it either El Camino or a truck? I can't remember which one it is. But
I think it's truck.
A truck bed.
Yeah.
So they're hiding out, and the whole neighborhood comes out because of gunfire. Everybody's kind of confused, and that's when Joy comes out to confront Deebo, who's also kind of like out there, and because evidently he beat up her sister, poor Felicia, as much as we hate her and she's cracked out.
Much as we wanted to buy Felicia, we don't want to beat Felicia.
We don't want to we don't want Felicia beaten, and she's real fucked up, and it's sad, because she just looks real dejected and hurt. And of course, Deebo responds by slapping Joy down immediately.
Yep.
But she, like, her little speech to him was good though. Like, yeah,
but that's
she's like really standing up. Like
she's standing up for her fucking sister, man.
Yeah,
she is. And that's a good point, Shadow, because she basically calls all the quote unquote men in the neighborhood out who were too scared. And up to this point, like they're all too scared to really confront
stand
Deebo
up to him.
and stand up to him. She does. She has the courage to say something.
So as a Deebo does, he smacks the shit out of her. And
as he does, yes.
And Craig runs up there and he's like, What's your problem, man? That's a female.
Yeah.
And then that's all Deebo needs.
Yep.
He pulls out his prison shank.
Yeah.
And
not my prison shank.
But
yep.
in Deebo's defense, for the first time in this movie, he has the crackhead hold his shank because he's gonna fight him like 30 styles boxing, man. He's ready to
put your fucking dukes up, and he's like, I got no fucking dukes.
Right? And then Craig is the one that sort of bitches out because rather than get thrashed and beaten up by Deebo, he pulls out a gun. His gun that he's been carrying this whole time.
Yep.
Right. And then we get that scene where, if you've never seen it before, like you think that he shoots Deebo, right?
Yeah, so he's sitting he's standing there.
Fantasy scene.
And he's holding it sideways. It's a kill shot.
Yeah.
And
he's
you hear
face to face with him.
And you hear his dad over there saying, Put the gun down, son. And Deebo goes, yeah, put that gun down, son, and get knocked out like your father used to.
Yep.
And then you just see him pop.
Pull the trigger, yeah.
And then you like start hearing like his dad's like words of wisdom to him from earlier in the movie about being a man and whatever. And
dude, I get fucking like goosebumps just even talking about that scene. That scene is so fucking good, man.
It's really good.
So
it is really good.
So it flashes back, and he didn't actually shoot him. That was just like his first impulse or whatever. But he thought it through.
This is fantasizing about killing him.
So he gives a gun, I think, to his dad or his mom, and
he gives it to his dad originally, but more on that in a second.
Yeah, and then like the all-out like fist fight breaks out, and they're
it's basically Rocky 4.
Yeah, or Rocky 5. Yeah,
he beats it. That one doesn't exist. There's only 4. Craig basically catches he does pretty good, but he catches a pretty severe beatdown. But his parents refuse to throw in the towel and like
get up, you son of a bitch. Nick loves you.
Yes,
and his mom, in true mom fashion, she's over there with the gun. She's going, no, he's not being fair.
Yeah, no,
dude, that's the crazy part. She ends up having the gun, and shout out to his mom for trigger discipline, dude. She doesn't have her finger like on the trigger. She's holding the gun like correctly. I was like, wow, man, Mom, let's go.
Come on, Craig. I guess what I remember from this scene is like,
let him be a man.
Yep.
Let him be a man.
Come on, Craig.
No.
Get up, son.
So Craig's so they reenact the scene from Rocky 4, and they won't let Craig quit. And so he gets up and just like starts fighting dirty finally.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not beating this fucking like like Zeus is a monster.
You should fight like a man. And by fight like a man, I mean grab the nearest brick and fucking murder someone.
Yeah. For an object.
Don't shoot him, but
don't shoot him with a brick. Just give him permanent fucking CTE for the rest of his life. That's how his eye got fucked up. And people didn't know that. That's why Tiny Lester's eye was like that. Was this brick from this movie? So
don't look it up. Just
a lot of people don't know that. It wasn't like that. No holds barred.
Nope. Most people don't even know that movie exists.
Yep, it doesn't.
Rip them.
What's that smell?
Why? Hulkster, no.
It's like, so the neighborhood after Deebo's vanquished, the neighborhood's obviously like, well, good job.
Craig,
like, we'll call an ambulance. We'll get him tended to.
Craig wins. Yeah. And Deebo's unconscious. And of course,
Red gets his chain back.
Red, that's the funny part, Shadwick, because the entire neighborhood then takes turns robbing Deebo's unconscious body.
Yeah.
Sucked out.
Smokey takes the money that he helped Deebo steal.
So now he's got his $200.
And you know what?
Stanley's $200, but
Right. Yes. Exactly. That's what I was going to point out. So he pays off Worms to keep them from being killed, but it's money. It's Stanley's money.
Well, I mean, to be honest though, Stanley kind of sucks. So let's just call it what it is. Fuck Stanley.
That's what I mentioned before. It's like he's like the sort of the neighborhood trader.
Can you stay off my grass, please? Thank you.
Dude.
And they did stay off his grass. They just took his $200.
Yeah.
As wrong as it was, nobody likes Stanley, so we just kind of forget about that. Shadwick does mention Red shows up, gets a free punch in on Deebo. because despite Deebo's brain trauma, it's fine. He's down, so why not kick him while he's down? He steals his grandmama chain back, and he gets his bike
back finally. Full circle moment.
And Zale comes and takes Deebo's shoes off of him, but
fucking greasy.
But he puts his prison shank on his chest, and it's like,
because I steal, I don't kill.
Yep. Which is a nice words of wisdom from a crackhead, you know. Which is a good lesson to everyone out there. Even when addicted to crack, you can still be a good person.
Yeah.
You can still be honorable. You can be an honorable crackhead.
Oh, you ain't catching no crackhead.
He will not. He proved
You will not, man.
So in the final scene, Craig breaks up with his old girlfriend in a phone call, gets a new, less ratchet girlfriend. His work calls. Evidently, he's potentially exonerated. Doesn't really go into it, but turns out the person stealing boxes may not actually have been Craig.
Yep.
So he gets his job back potentially. Craig's dad is proud of him. So
I think I've missed that. I think I've always missed that part.
Yeah. They said, hey, your work called, Craig, and so you can kind of assume that he's exonerated
because he already had like the pieces being laid earlier that they couldn't. It looked like the back of his head, kinda. Or whatever.
One of my favorite things in E movie 2, he's talking with Joy, like she's like, I'm gonna come check on you in the morning. What time you getting up? He's like 8:30, and as she's walking away, he's like 7:30, and then as she's walking away, the camera's just on his face, and he's like, he's watching her like that. And one of my favorite things is he breaks the fourth wall. He looks at the camera, and goes, "That's right."
And he actually has a couple of those moments in the movie.
Yeah, he does.
Like, believe it or not.
Moments,
for some reason, Ice Cube just Ice Cubes, and it works. It absolutely works. Like when he does it for whatever reason, but it absolutely works.
Yeah, if you can do that right, that's hilarious.
Dude, always fun.
It's
like
it's really fun.
Deadpool's like the best one at it, but
we got it. We can't end the movie without having Craig's dad be in the bathroom shitting himself again with the plops and he tells him he's basically proud of his son for how he handled himself. And of course, the final scene, Smokey laying in the bed talking to Big Worm, tells him that he's quitting selling drugs and smoking weed, hangs up, and of course, just kidding, he's still smoking the weed. So we can assume Smokey probably dies or ends up.
So he's dead
after that. So he's dead.
Well, yeah, he died because he's not in any of the sequels.
Yeah, and there's something we can get into that. Like there's, I guess, some reasons in Hollywood that there's been a lot of articles that are like, why Chris Tucker wasn't in Friday 2, and I'm like, I don't care. So
probably because he was making some fuck you money with Jackie Chan.
Yeah, he was making an assload of money in Hollywood. So
Chris Tucker goes on to be in The Fifth Element. He goes on to do lots of things. He made his own.
Ice Cube goes on to be fucking probably a billionaire at this point. Like, all the movies he's been in. You've got
he's an actor.
a lot of people in this. Like went on to, I mean, obviously, like Tiny Lester went off to do tons of parts, tons of movies.
What's
Bernie
that?
Mac.
Bernie Mac, like,
dude.
What's Mr. Parker's real name?
Tony Cox.
Tony Cox. Yeah, the dwarf from that.
He's been in a bunch of shit, and he's so fucking funny.
Yeah, he is.
His IMDb is huge.
Yeah,
his IMDb is
so much shit. Like.
His IMDb is bigger than he is, in fact.
What we should definitely do, me, myself, and I.
But not bigger than his dick.
Come on, Charlie. God damn it. Those kids' dicks are bigger than them sausages.
And with that, everybody, we just want to go. We will do it. Oh, you didn't know. There's really not much more to add to this, but this movie is a thumbs up from all of us, I'm sure. Go watch it if you haven't seen it in a while, or if you saw it yesterday, go fucking watch it again. And then be sure to like and subscribe and comment. If you don't comment, Shadwick is.
I may lose it.
He's on thin ice.
He's pilled up. He's healing.
Look, here's the thing. I've been trapped in my house for almost 3 weeks without human interaction outside of my immediate family, and I just need somebody to converse with. So
that's all he wants.
Throw me a goddamn comment. How hard is that?
For the love of
watch
God.
Watch the episode. I'm sure you've got something to say. You have something to say.
Shadwick doesn't even care if it's cognizant. Just put something. Anything.
Literally anything.
Troll us. We don't fucking care. Like, it's fine. we'll tit for tat.
Yeah. Troll us. Do that.
So, with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and lead us over to our Norm Macdonald clip of the week.
Huh?
O.J. Simpson was in a different courtroom this week, attempting to regain custody of his 2 children. In order to prove to the court how much he loves his kids, O.J. pointed out, quote, "Hey, they're still alive, aren't they?"